let's get into some Spokane news, man. I just like reporting on shit. I got to get this figured out. The problem is I have a pop filter. That's what this is, kids. It's a pop filter. When you get too much, you add this to the equation. You can all day, and it's no skin off your nose. But the problem is, I don't want to touch it because it's gonna fall. But my mic's a little shaky, and to get it in a fixed position is a wash because the bolt. It's a cheap mic. It sounds good. I got it to sound pretty good, but I'm avoiding having to buy another mic. The pop filter, right? So I can only put my mic in a certain position. And I only have so much tension. So in this position, any more weight's gonna. So if I add the pop filter, and it's gonna go flaccid real quick. And I can't afford to be doing that. So this is, I excuse any. I'll try to limit my. Save your ears some trouble. Here's an article on article. Creme 2 TV Spokane, Washington. Written by a gentleman by the name of Kyle Simchuk. Yesterday, 10:31 p.m. This guy's staying up late, making sure he's getting shit in. He's working overtime. Good for you, Kyle Simchuk. The headline of this article, you need to be fired. See if I can zoom this in a little bit so you guys can see it. You need to be fired. Parents and protesters upset over vaccine clinics at Spokane schools. So they're holding vaccine clinics at the Spokane schools, and people are upset over it. Well, here's the thing, man. People will be upset at upset at pretty much anything these days. And anything, you know. And that's the thing about the internet is it's a microcosm. It's just a micro dome of all the complaints. So like you get a magnified view of all the complaints. It's like it's easy to get caught up in like the internet status quo when like you got to realize that the internet is not the world. So it just magnifies any complaints people are having. Like you can go outside in the actual world and people don't really feel that way. But once you get on the internet, it seems like everybody's upset. Everyone's outraged. Backlash, one of my favorite words. But it's like not really like that. So these people are upset basically because they're holding a vaccine clinic inside the school. Let's get into this. Spokane Public Schools, SPS, board members got an earful from parents and community members Wednesday who were upset that the district is letting Spokane Regional Health use school buildings to host vaccine clinics. There's a little video here, 2-minute clip. Let's get into this video first, and then I'll get to the article.
From parents and community members outraged the district is letting Spokane Regional Health use school buildings to host vaccine clinics. Creme 2's Kyle Simchuk was at tonight's meeting. He is live in the newsroom tonight with how the district responded to the protesters. Kyle?
Well, yeah, Mark, a lot of emotion during tonight's school board meeting. Superintendent Adam Swinyard tried to calm people, assuring them this is something the district has done in the past for other diseases and that no student is required to take the COVID vaccine.
It's time to end the mandates. Leave the children alone.
An hour before tonight's school board meeting, a group of parents and citizens gathered outside. This man with a large megaphone shouted at district employees in their offices.
You need to resign tonight. You need to be fired.
He claimed to be employed at a school, so we asked him his name and where he worked.
Come on, man. Come on.
Okay, so first of all, I can't see the megaphone, but it doesn't look that large. Looks like one of these little kid microphone things. Now, if you notice, and I don't want to get too heated on this, but if you notice,
you need to resign tonight.
The gentleman's wearing a Trump hoodie, a Trump beanie. I kind of had that thought in my head, like he's got a red beanie on, and I was thinking in my head, like, oh, nice MAGA head condom. But also notice that he has it turned around. So, I mean, that's like intentional, right? If you got a Trump, if you're going to go out and spend your hard-earned cash on this $15, $25 Trump head condom, this head prophylactic, like, you're intentionally turning it around. So what's going on there, bro? Like, you support Trump, but you don't want anybody to know, but you want them to low-key know? Like, if you're going to support Trump, like, whatever, that's your right. But, like, I feel like he's hiding it. No? Am I wrong?
You need to be fired.
He claimed to be employed at a school, so we asked him his name and where he worked.
Come on, man.
What's your
Come
name?
on. I'm not telling you my name where I work.
Why not?
Period.
You're out here with the megaphone.
No kidding.
Do you work in Spokane schools?
Maybe not.
Inside.
So, you know, he's asking, do you work in Spokane schools? Apparently he does, because that's what the news guy said. Do you work in Spokane schools? And he says, maybe. That's a yes. Because if you didn't, you would just say no. So this dude, I don't know, he seemed like what is it, man? Do you want to support Trump and display that, put that on display? Do you or not? Like, do you work at the Spokane schools or not? If you're gonna say maybe, like, hey, yo, baby, like what's good? Like, did you sleep with that guy last night? Maybe. Yes, that's a yes. A maybe is more often than not a yes. Because if you were confident enough in your ability to deny the accusation, you're gonna say no. You could be lying, but still, like, maybe that's a yes, bruh.
Chairs were filled.
Come correct.
Parents, including some teachers, told board members they don't support the health district using schools to provide vaccines.
I'm just wondering why Spokane Public Schools are being used by the Spokane Regional Health Clinic for the health district to administer COVID-19 shots to children as young as 5 years old.
I can't watch students at my elementary school receiving an experimental vaccine.
Krem 2 was at one of those vaccine clinics at Ferris High School last week. The clinic opened after school hours and gave COVID and flu vaccines to anyone who wanted one, not just school children. Superintendent Adam Swinyard says these types of clinics have been around in the past for mumps, measles, and rubella.
And so we've continued that practice with the COVID vaccine.
Swinyard went on to say children need permission from a parent to get the COVID vaccine, and students are not required to have one to attend class in person. Reporting in Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, Krem 2 News.
Okay, so let's get to the article. So parents, including some teachers, spoke up during the public comment session. This is scary to me. I've been an educator for 33 years, a successful one, said one woman who identified herself as a district employee. I can't watch students at my elementary receiving an experimental vaccine, as you heard in the video. Krem 2 was at an Spokane Regional Health District vaccine clinic at Ferris High School, a high school down to Spokane. On November 10, the clinic opened after school hours and provided COVID-19 and influenza vaccines to adults and children older than 5 with parent permission. Spokane Public Schools Superintendent Adam Swinyard said these types of clinics have been around. Okay, right. So this is basically summarizing what was in the video. Been around in the past for other diseases such as mumps, measles, rubella. We're continuing that historical practice. Yo, what's good over here? Practice makes perfect. Practice makes purpose, and practice is baby. Where we at here, brothers? Offering our facilities for vaccination as we have done in the past with other incidents. Swinyard says, I'm sure you're all well aware, no student is required to take the COVID-19 vaccine. It's optional for parents, and there has to be consent. 1 hour before the meeting started, a group... So why are they having this meeting in the first place? So, like, they're doing it, they're setting up shop to get you poked up. And so they're having like a conference, a meeting, due to the fact that there was enough complaints about it. Like, is that why they're having the, you know what I mean? Like, they arranged this whole meeting thing so people can air their grievances with the whole situation. Is that why? 1 hour before the meeting started, a group of parents and community members gathered outside the building to protest children receiving the vaccine. A man holding a megaphone shouted up at the district employees in their offices, "You need to resign, you need to be fired." That's what MAGA cap guy said. He claimed to be a teacher himself, but refused to provide his name or whether he is employed at Spokane Public Schools. Oh, this is the maybe guy. Maybe, maybe not. So they're gonna, okay. The issue here to me seems to be that the people are they're upset that it's in a school. So to me, the thinking behind it is that they're trying to sway. The thinking behind it is that people are assuming that by setting up in a school, they're trying to sway kids into getting it. So important to note that they're also giving flu shots, which is a normal thing. Don't forget that people also get sick from things other than COVID. And so that's the thinking behind it. Otherwise, why would it matter where you're offering the vaccine? Because they're offering it in other places anyway. So they're upset that it's happening at a school because you're influencing the kids to get this vaccine. And they're against the vaccine. So if you're against the vaccine, fine. Like that's your right. So that must be, it's got to be the thinking behind it. It's like, I don't want it at a school because then you're interfering with like the kids' opinion on whether to get it or not. Like, how many kids are going to go home and be like, "Hey, Mom, I want to," if they're having like a fair at the school, it's like the kids are going to go home and be like, "Hey, like I see it at the school, I want to go, all my friends are going." What's the likelihood that a kid's going to go home to his mom and dad and be like, "Hey, I want to go get vaxxed up because like little Timmy's down there getting vaxxed up at the school." Whereas when little Timmy gets vaxxed up at Walgreens, it's like he's not going to, out of sight, out of mind, your kid's not going to come home and want to be, you know what I mean? Like that's, where they set up shop, that apparently matters to these people. And so they're upset about it. Like, man, it's too hard for me to even have a conversation with anybody about the whole like vaccine thing, because there's just so much information about it, and not all information is good information. And so nobody really nobody really knows what the fuck's going on. Like, everybody thinks they're a goddamn scientist or a regular scientist or a political scientist on social media. Like, everyone knows everything. It's like you're only getting your information from the internet or the news or whoever the fuck down the street who happens to when you get your information from someone who isn't an expert but they are able to articulate themselves, like, you tend to want to believe it. It's like, wow, this guy's using big words. Like, that's a $5 word. I only have like $2.50 on me, so if I spend it's like, so it's like it's hard to even have a conversation about it because I don't think anybody really knows what the fuck they're talking about. So she's saying it's an experimental vaccine. It's like, I don't fucking know, man. I'm not a goddamn doctor. I'm not a virologist. I'm not a scientist. I'm not an epidemiologist. Like, how many people do you know that are experts on anything? Like, what's your area of expertise other than your own opinion? I'm not an expert at shit other than sleeping. So people are pissed about it. Like, I get it. But the idea that setting up shop, it's just, I don't know. I don't really know. I don't know, but is setting up shop inside the school really going to influence kids to want to, like, influence their parents to get them vaccinated as kids? I don't know if kids are really thinking about it like that. I could be wrong. But again, these people aren't experts. And even the experts, like, I don't really believe that shit. It's my belief that there's information out there that people, like doctors and scientists, really can't speak up about because they have risk of losing their jobs. Like, there could be information out there, valuable information that we need to know, that like a doctor's like, I can't tell my patients this. It's too controversial. And like, I could lose my job. Like, that's a real thing. The fear of not wanting to speak out because within your community or your like line of work, you can't afford to put your opinion or what seems like your opinion based on it not being like mainstream information. Like, you might lose your job. It's craziness. To me, it's kind of craziness, but I don't know. What do you think about this shit, man? Leave a comment. Hit the like button. Hit the dislike bucket, the bucket if you want. Hit the like bucket. I don't care. Subscribe. Tsunami Chavez. I think that's enough for this little article here. Educate yourself, man. Knowledge is power. This many.